What are your impressions early of the group so far?
I see a group that wants to be coached. I see a hungry group that wants to continue to fight for daily improvement, and I see some young talent. So we got a long way to go till they reach their ceiling, but I love the way they take the practice field every day so far.
Anybody's really stood out to you?
You know, it's at this point, there's so many things we're trying to work on that I don't want to single too many out because I think we're going to have a lot of changes. I'm happy with the older guys. You know, you look at Rory Blair as a senior. He's been great since I walked in the door. Maya Taleni has done a great job. You know, Alan Edwards, again, those three seniors are doing well. Some of the younger guys that pop out, Keyshawn Camp has really shown that his talent is starting to transition into becoming a football player. You know, and there's a number of other guys that are showing up as well, but off the top of my head, those are a few.
Is it exciting during the camp? Guys are trying to develop a position, and you have so many options at that spot.
You talking the tackle or all the way across the board?
All the way across the board. There seems to be a lot of talent at both positions.
Yeah, it's young and it's some of it's untapped at this point, but it is fun because again the guys are approaching every meeting, every practice the right way, and they're thirsty to get better, and that's a fun thing to be a part of. So we'll see where we go each day. Coach talks about getting 3% better every day, and if we can do that as a D-line, then I think we have a shot to be really competitive.
What are the challenges? A couple of the defensive tackles came in with a lot of hype. What's the challenge as far as getting to that next level, as far as reaching that potential?
Yeah, I mean, as far as reaching your potential, regardless of height, right? It's a matter of putting in the work every day, and that's talking about the film room, your fundamentals, and from a defensive line perspective, a lot of these men get away with playing without fundamentals in high school. And up front, when things in contact happens right now, an inch for us up front is a mile. In other words, if you step a couple inches out of place, you have a chance to get beat. As the talent equalizes, that becomes more and more true, and that's what these guys are learning, is that steps and hands and those things really matter. So D-line's always been about fundamentals. What's up, Chris?
Sorry to jump
No, you're
late,
good.
but
Yeah, you charged me. You scared me a little bit.
Yeah. What do you like about Hendricks that you've seen here and what you might have seen on film?
You know, we watched film as cut up, so I didn't get to see a lot because he got hurt early in the season last year, as you guys know. But I see two things. I see a ton of raw ability, and I see someone who I only have to coach him on something once or twice, and he works hard to apply that fundamental or that skill or whatever we're doing based on the call. He's very coachable, and you combine that with his talent. If he can stay healthy, he's got a chance to be a really productive guy for us.
did you have any relationships with any of these players? Did you recruit any of them or know any of them?
I knew Weaver before I got here from my time down there, and I knew Deslin Alexander, so the Florida guys. I knew who Camp was. I had met Keyshawn Camp, but didn't have as long of a relationship with him as I did with Weaver and Deslin.
What's Keyshawn showing you this spring?
Well, you know, a guy that's hungry to get better every single day. He's got a raw talent and size. He's done some things, you know, where we redirect on a movement, and he's shown that for someone with his stature, he can really change direction and go make a play, and that's fun to see because that opens up calls for us and the ability to do some more things with a guy like that.
I think Pat mentioned Taleni was kind of taking a leadership role for the whole front.
He is.
Is that what you've seen?
Yeah, for sure. He's a guy that I can get a pulse on the whole group by looking and talking to him. He's acting and practicing and preparing the way you would expect a senior to practice. And again, I'm learning these guys just like they're learning me. And I walk in and I see a senior that's acting like a senior, and for that I'm proud.
You always need leadership, but it's especially important this year where you're probably going to be relying on a lot of younger guys in key roles.
You know, it really, who leads to me, you'd like it to be an older guy, but it's not a prerequisite. If there's a young man who takes care of his business, in my mind, a leader checks boxes off. First is, do you take care of your job? Second, can you take one guy along with you? And eventually you build to a point where you can take the whole group along with you, and Taleni's a guy that's in that position right now. So hopefully we can build some more leadership around him.
Obviously, since you got hired, you've been trying to learn everything about this team.
Sure.
Have you gotten a chance to look at some of the guys who are coming in, you know, this summer? Have you gotten to evaluate them?
A little bit. You know, I've been trying to get a feel for those guys. I took a peek at their film. All three of them are Division I players without a doubt, and I'm excited to get that, you know, that unmolded ball of clay and see what we can do with it. It'll be fun.
What has Roy showed you so far?
Shane is really.
I'm Rory Blair. I'm sorry.
Rory Blair.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Tremendous effort. And he plays with a lot of motion, and I was told that, you know, to make sure that I'm aware of how much emotion he plays with, but I've seen a young man that's controlled his emotions with no problem. And he does play. It's an emotional game. And he has, so far since I've walked in the door, played with tremendous emotion and control of that emotion. So for that, I'm proud. And he's athletic and a guy that, plays hard, so I think he can make some plays for us.
The whole defense wants to get better from last year, and I think the secondary especially sort of has a chip on their shoulder with all the passing yards given up. How much do you think your guys understand that it starts up front with?
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, the best teams that I've been on, the ones that have gone and won championships, the presence of the D-line is felt when they walk into the indoor, they walk on the practice field, and that's something that we're going to carry on our shoulders every day.
What's the biggest change in Pitt that you've noticed since you've been
Wow,
back?
that's a good one. You feel the power of the ACC. You really do in terms of how we support these players. The way we're feeding them right now, we're feeding them like a Power 5 program should to compete at this level. The whole development nutrition piece is huge, and that's come a long way. Coach Narduzzi, I absolutely love working for him. He's a great fit in the city of Pittsburgh, but I think you can feel the power of the ACC behind the program. That's fun. I felt that in the first month and a half.